Okay, so today we're in section 3.2, angles of triangles. All right, and we're going to find the measurements of these angles without actually measuring anything. We're going to use angle relationships. So the first thing you need to know is that there are interior angles. Those angles are inside the triangle. Okay, interior angles, that's our first blank. Then, when the sides of a triangle are extended, those sides form exterior angles, which we see over here in the second diagram. Exterior angles. There's a different set of rules for that. And guys, we have to know that the sum of the interior angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. Did you guys get those blanks filled in? Those three blanks? Interior, exterior, and 180. All right, so in example 1, we're finding the measures of each angle of the triangle, finding the measure. So on the first one, and really on all of the triangles that we're going to solve, the sum is the same. It's 180 degrees. So what we do is we add up each angle. X plus 32 plus 48 equals 180. Now, I need to make sure, and on these guys, you will have combine like terms almost every time. What terms can I combine before I solve for x? 32 plus 48, which is?
80.
How many of you would say, I could do that pretty quick, mental math? Okay, so I am okay if you just write this as your original problem. If you do the adding in your head and then you do the x plus 80 as your original problem, okay? But I need to see your original equation to solve for x, subtract 80 from both sides, and x equals 100. Now remember, this is not your final answer. Your final answer is to actually list your angle measurements. In this case, it's pretty easy. There's no math to do. I just list it. 32, 48, and 100. And we'll get even more specific. Make sure you have your little degree symbols. Okay? And that's your answer. Now, you notice in B, okay, this is a little more, maybe we'll say coded. Coded as in, it's not as obvious what our answer is going to be, right? But I can still follow the same rule. My sum is 180. Okay? And all of my other angle measures are going to add up to that. So I have x plus 28. That's my top angle. Okay? Then I have x. Wait a second. What's my last angle measurement?
Right angle.
What's the measurement of a right angle? So it doesn't actually say 90, but because that box is there, I know it's 90. All right? Do I have any like terms over here?
X. 90 and 28.
Yes. Okay, my x is, what's x plus x?
2x.
Yep, 2x. What's 28 plus 90?
118.
118 equals 180. Now I just solved my two-step equation. Kelsey, what would be my next step to solving for x?
Subtract 118 from 180.
Yes, very good. Subtract 118 from both sides and bring down what's left. 2x equals 62. Divide both sides by 2. X equals 31. Okay, great. 31's my answer. Right? What do I need to do, Nick? Yeah, you got to plug it back in. 31 needs to be plugged back in for x back in the original triangle. Okay? So we have...
No, 28 is not.
What is 31 plus 28?
60.
Okay, so to plug this back in up top, guys, that means 31 plus 28.
59.
It's 59. That's where I get 59. And then if I plug 31 in just for x, that's just 31 and 90. And guys, it can be in any order. All right, so you could have said 90, 59, 31. That would be fine too. All right, how do we do on interior?
Good.
Do okay on interior? Okay, let's do exterior now. All right, let's do exterior. Here's my rule for exterior. I can find the measurement of an exterior angle, okay, so you see it's on the outside, by adding up the sum of the non-adjacent angles. Non-adjacent means it's not touching the exterior angle. The adjacent angle to x would be here. You guys remember that from yesterday? How if they're adjacent, they share the same side, okay, and the same middle point. So adjacent angles are touching. So what does it mean? It means the two angles that are not touching the exterior angle. I can just add them together. So if I did that, again, guys, I'm not actually measuring x. What's 36 plus 72? Can anybody do that in their head real quick? 108. So I know x is 108 degrees without ever measuring it and without an equation. That's kind of nice. All right, literally that's all you have to do.
That's easy.
Okay? Well, it is going to be harder, okay? Because here's what we see in example 2. In example 2, we see an exterior angle 2A. And we see the interior angles 80 and A minus 5. So I still have to apply my rule that says my exterior angle is equal to the sum of my two non-adjacent interior angles. What does that mean? That means that's my equation. 2A equals 80 plus A minus 5. See what I did there? I'm adding together, okay, this is the top angle and this is the bottom angle. And I'm saying that this sum is equal to the exterior angle. And now I'm going to solve the equation. Are there any like terms that I can combine on the right side?
No.
What's 80 minus 5?
Oh.
75.
I thought you only did it if it was like a positive and a positive.
Nope, nope. If they're both numbers on the same side of an equation, I can combine them.
Okay.
2A equals 75 plus A. Now I have a challenge because I have variables on either side of my equation. So, does anybody remember which one I move? Connor?
You subtract the lower number
Yes.
to the bigger number?
Yes. So which one's lower, 2A or 1A? 1A. And that makes sense, right? Because why would I move the 2A to the right side and nothing would be left? Okay? So how could I get A to cancel out? Subtract it. Minus it. All right? Now it cancels. That's great. Now I just have to make sure I do it to the other side. So A equals 75. Is this my answer?
No.
No, it's not my answer. My answer, how could I find my answer? I just plug it in and it's 275.
No.
What do I do? 2A shows multiplication, right, when they're together? So what's 2 times 75?
150.
Okay, so it's 150 degrees. You could just fill it in on the diagram and box it in. Okay? On your paper, like if this was a homework assignment, you could probably just say 2A equals 150 degrees. And that could be your final answer. All right, now, I'm hoping to kind of bring this full circle for you so you understand. What if I had plugged in 75 for A on the inside? What's 75 minus 5? 70. What is 70 plus 80? And look, it's equal. Okay? So what my rule says is that my exterior angle is equal to the sum of my two non-adjacent interior angles. And when I solved the equation, that was exactly true. Okay? Now, this step you don't have to do. The answer is 150. But I just wanted to show you that. Okay, so a real-life application. Did you guys know that airplanes follow routes? They don't just go up in the sky and fly wherever they want. Could you imagine? How many airplanes do you think are in the sky right now?
30.
I see one yesterday.
30? Yeah, right. 30 are probably landing at JIA right now. Can you imagine all the airports in the country? New York City, LA, Atlanta.
Africa.
I mean, there's probably hundreds in the sky, right? So they follow a route. All right, so there's your real life application. Here's what it's asking. What is the measure of the interior angle at Miami. Okay, so here's Miami. How could I find this measurement? What could I do?
Out of all the angles. and-
Yep. What would you make them equal to? Guys, pay attention. You would make them equal to 180. So X that's Miami, plus 62.8, that's up at Bermuda. And then down at Puerto Rico, plus 2X minus 44.8. And what are they all equal? 180 degrees. Okay, so basically the only difference here between this and, like, say example 1 is it's just giving me like an actual map. All right. So 62.8 minus 44.8. I'm just going to tell you it's 18. Can I combine my x's?
Yes.
What's x plus 2x? 3x. Yeah, sorry about my little Facebook notification. I don't know why that popped up. Okay, so, all right, so now what do I do to solve? What do I do to solve?
Combined, so it's 62.
Minus 18 to both sides.
Yeah, subtract 18. Now I get 162. Does anybody know, how can I tell, before I even solve, how can I tell if 162 is divisible by 3? Does anybody know?
Because it's 16.
That's a 6.
Nope.
Because it's even.
Nope. I add, okay, so this is any number. You literally could take a number in the thousands, add all your digits together, and if the sum is divisible by 3, then that number is divisible by 3. So what's 1 plus 6? 7. What's 7 plus 2? 9. So it's divisible by 3.
Wow.
Okay?
That's wrong.
So right now, I know that my answer is even. Okay? Yeah, there we go. Okay? Now, you can also do this division mental math. 3 goes into 16 how many times? 5. With how many left over?
4.
How many left over? 1. Carry your 1 to the 2, and how many times does 3 go into 12? So it's 54.
Okay.
Okay?
That was wrong.
All right. Does that help? Okay, so that's Miami. Listen, guys, this is it. This is it, and we're done. That's Miami. Could I find Puerto Rico? How could I find Puerto Rico? How could I find Puerto Rico? Just times it by 2. 54 times 2. Do y'all know how to double a number?
Yes.
Okay, so you double each digit. What's 5 times 2?
10.
10. What's 4 times 2?
8.
So it's 108. Okay? It's 100. So you can do that for each digit, you just double it.
You are
Okay?
legit.
All right, so you have 108. You have 108 minus 44.8. And then, can anybody help me out with that? I don't have a mental math trick on that. 108 minus 44.8.
108 minus 44.8.
Yeah, it is 63.2. Okay, so that's Puerto Rico. 63.2. All right, guys, and that's everything you need to know for section 3.2.